guys, welcome back. Since I haven't been posting reactions, I figured, why bother? Today I'm going to be reviewing Bad Batch episode 11, something about a deal with the devil or something like that. This episode is unlike any of the others. Instead of staying with the actual Bad Batch this time, the Bad Batch made more of a cameo in this one. We saw things from the other end of one of their supply runs, for Sid, I guess. We return to Ryloth, and it picks up right as Senator Ron Frita has basically welcomed the Empire to Ryloth, and their Sham Syndulla is just wanting peace. He's not really sure what the Empire stands for at this point. Apparently he doesn't know what happened to the Jedi. A lot of people don't. And we get to see Sham's wife and a young Hera Syndulla, and also Chopper, which is interesting. So, long story short, some of the Resistance fighters that were used to fighting droids on Ryloth, like Gobi and others, they don't like the way the Empire is settled in and has basically taken away all their weapons. That is a big red flag for him. And so he's actually been recruiting a very young Hera Syndulla to help him. And of course, Hera at this point is a young daydreamer. She wants badly to be a pilot, but she's just barely learning how. And apparently Gobi is trying to be covert and going under the Empire's noses, and he's recovering weapons with the help, ironically, of the Bad Batch. And Hera goes with him on one of these runs. She meets Omega, they sort of make friends and sort of connect and all that, and Hera's basically waxing poetic about flying, and Omega's like, that's very interesting. She's a little bit more of an analytical mind than a creative mind, but it's kind of cute seeing them interact with each other. But of course, Crosshair is on Ryloth, and he's, the sniper, and he's been tracking them. He put a tracking device on Gobi's transport vessel, and they get taken down, and the Empire captures them, and the episode ends on a cliffhanger with Hera's parents sending her away to speed her with Chopper, and we don't see what happens to them. We know at the very least Sham Syndulla survives, but I have a bad feeling that something is definitely going to happen to Hera's mother. What I liked most about this episode was the fact that we got to see the Syndullas again. Seeing a young Hera was awesome. She was very, very young. Still just a kid, really. But it would have been nice to see her recover Chopper from something instead of just Chopper already being built, or maybe be in the process of building Chopper. Who knows? But that's just a minor nitpick. What I was going to say, what I like most about this episode, is seeing a young Hera Syndulla and her family, and that was really, really cool. And it was also nice seeing Hera's dream of flight sort of starting. That was a lot of fun. What I didn't like about this episode, it's just a minor nitpick. It ended on a cliffhanger. Darn it, Dave Filoni. I mean, we know basically who survives and who doesn't, but it's not much of a comfort. And Hera's age, looking at her, I would have guessed she was a teenager because she's already pretty tall. Her liku are not short and stubby like a little kid's, but they're sort of median length. I guess height runs in her family because both of her parents are fairly tall. She ends up fairly tall as an adult. And she's quite a bit taller than Omega, which makes me think she's quite a bit older than Omega. Or maybe Omega's just shorter because Omega's a clone of Jango Fett, and Jango Fett's not really all that tall. But I actually looked on Wikipedia to see how old Hera is supposed to be with the Empire Rises. She was only supposed to be 10 years old. And I'm like, a 10-year-old that tall? Well, I guess stranger things have happened. She also seems a little bit more mature for a 10-year-old, because I would have guessed Omega was anywhere between 9 and 10 years old. But again, it's a nitpick. I hope they follow through on the storyline next week and don't just leave us hanging. That would be nice. So there you go, guys. That is my recap and review of Bad Batch episode 11. I am looking forward to seeing what happens next week. So I'll see everybody then, and until then, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off.